I'm going to show you a screen grab of the list he's talking about. It was an on this day video that I posted of a gentleman who listed I think the top 4 or 5 worst presidents in American history. And this person says, well, that didn't age well at all, my opposition to his list. That list was spot on. So let's take a look at the list first. So it was the top 4, my apologies. It's Jim Bro's worst U.S. presidents. 4, Jimmy Carter. 3, FDR. 2, Barack Obama. 1, Joe Biden. Now, keep in mind that at the day he made this video, Joe Biden had been in office 14 days. That was really the purpose of that video to begin with, was that he was anointing Joe Biden worst president in American history after 2 weeks. But you say this list is spot on. First of all, don't you find it a tad bit embarrassing that the list of worst presidents, according to you, is all Democrats? Like, there have been no phenomenally bad Republican presidents. Okay. All right, listen. Your bias is showing a little bit there, but we all have biases. That's fine. Let's move on. This list is spot on. These are the 4 worst presidents. If you want to make an argument for Jimmy Carter, then go ahead and make an argument for Jimmy Carter. I don't believe he was one of the worst presidents. I believe that Jimmy Carter was a product of the times that he was in, and unfortunately, his niceness wasn't getting the job done, wasn't selling it. But okay, put Jimmy Carter on the list. FDR? FDR. The guy that brought us back from the Great Depression. The number of people that have been helped and kept out of poverty, and the list just goes on and on and on from the things that FDR got. The FDR is in your top 3. FDR is probably one of the most consequential presidents in American history. One of the most accomplished presidents, for sure. Number 2 is Barack Obama. Barack Obama, who brought us back from the worst recession since the Great Depression. Saved the auto industry, doubled the stock market, cut unemployment in half, cut government spending by 2/3, oversaw the longest streak of private sector job growth in American history, and brought us back from the brink of a Great Depression when we were losing hundreds of thousands of jobs every single month. That's who you got down as number 2. Oh, and by the way, by the time he left office, 22 million more Americans had health coverage than when he came into office. That's who you got as number 2 on the worst. The guy who brought us back from the Great Depression, the guy that brought us back from the Great Recession, and Joe Biden. Now, at the time this guy had Joe Biden after 14 days, we've now had the 4 years, and you got Joe Biden as the worst. The guy that brought us back from the economic calamity that was the final year of the Trump administration. I mean, the whole thing was an economic calamity, but the disaster that was that final year, the guy that brought us back from that, the guy that worked with Republicans. Remember, 4 years we heard about things like Infrastructure Week from Donald Trump. Biden gets into office, and he actually works with the opposition, works with congressional Republicans, and gets Infrastructure Week. Gets another round of stimulus to the people who need it. Uses the existing National Guard system and the existing pharmacy system in the United States to get shots in tens of millions of arms. Signs a bill to finally get the health care, or continue to get the health care needed for the soldiers that were exposed to toxic burn pits in foreign wars. Ends America's longest foreign war. Make sure that as much manufacturing of our future technology is done right here in the United States as humanly possible. These are the people you have as the worst. Just out of curiosity, who are your top 4 best?